Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we're back to discussing Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Now, there are a few things that have occurred that are worth discussing. One of those things is that a number is out there now, meaning that there is a number of dollars that Baldoni is suing for, which is $400 million, and we'll get into that. But I don't really want to focus on that as much as we're going to focus on the voice memo he sent to Blake Lively that's been circulating all over social media, which is both telling and not, and you'll see what I mean by that. However, let's get the money thing out of the way because I think that's less interesting but still relevant. So here it says, the real reason Justin Baldoni is suing Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds for eye-watering sum of $400 million. Justin Baldoni is suing Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds for $400 million because the hefty sum is said to be close to their combined net worth and he wants to bankrupt them, an insider has claimed. Now I'm going to skip some parts because some of them we already know. Justin Baldoni chose $400 million because of the simple reason that Blake and Ryan's combined net worth is believed to be around that figure, the source said. If they were successful in their pursuits, Justin would have lost everything he has and everything he has worked for. He has already lost jobs, including the podcast, and he was dropped by his agent. Prior to this, he was flourishing. People close to Justin believe Blake and Ryan deserve to be bankrupted for trying to ruin the lives of Justin and others involved in this legal nightmare. The rest of this article, I'll link it down below, goes on to basically detail how it is that Ryan Reynolds has this net worth and like his other business ventures, which honestly I'm not particularly interested in. I'll link it down below if you're interested in it though. This number, 400 million, is a crazy number. But at the end of the day, for me, this number means nothing in the sense of, I think what most people are interested in knowing is who's at fault, which is a very vague and very basic question. But the subcategories under that question, beyond who's at fault, is, okay, so was there inappropriate behavior or not? Was this partially a PR stunt? Who was behaving inappropriately? Was Ryan Reynolds being a bully? So many things have been claimed here that the number, personally to me, doesn't really matter as much as the answer to all of these questions. Because this has turned into such a massive, massive ordeal that, yeah, okay, it's a lot of money, sure, but in the grand scheme of things, that money doesn't really answer any of the allegations here from either side. However, what we do want to talk about is the voice memo. So there's this voice memo that was from Baldoni to Blake Lively. It's about 6 minutes long. He sent it to her at 2 a.m. As you'll hear, he says it himself in the voice memo. It's very bizarre. This voice memo can very easily be interpreted in either way, as in him admitting to guilt or him kind of trying to calm down someone who's being a diva on set, right? Because we've seen those allegations. We've seen the allegations that he was horrible and inappropriate and creepy, so he could be apologizing for that in this message, or he's just apologizing because, as we've all done before, you apologize to kind of smooth out a situation even though you don't feel like you need to apologize. This can be seen both ways. So I'll play the memo here, and I'm not going to interrupt it for the sake of you hearing all of it without me just voicing my opinion in the middle and interrupting the flow, because a lot of this is really fucking weird in my opinion.
Hey, Blake. It is 2 a.m. Hopefully this does not wake you up. Whew. Wow. There's so much I want to say to you, and I hope that we can FaceTime or see each other in person soon and get to talk more. But I'm just going to send you a few thoughts, and hopefully it's not going to be more than a few minutes. But I don't have the best track record. I don't think either one of us have the best track record for our voice memos. I want to start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank. And I'm really sorry. I for sure fell short. And you worked really hard on that. And the way you framed it and how that made you feel, I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust and vulnerability, and I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel and share that with me. And I'm really sorry. I fucked up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I am a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And and I'm gonna fuck up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna piss you off probably, but I will always apologize and find my way back to center. That is one thing I can assure you of. And I'm sorry I made you feel that way. That must have felt terrible. And I will for sure do better. That was not my best weekend, and I should have given it more time. And damn right, you got great friends if that's how you felt and they knew that. And fuck, we should all have friends like that. Aside from the fact that they're two of the most creative people on the planet, the three of you guys together is unbelievable. Talk about energy and just a force, all three of you. But I just wanted you to know that I didn't need that because it's really good and it's gonna make the movie sing like you said, and I'm excited to go through the whole movie with you. I'm just excited to spend time with you. I'm excited to be in your sphere and your presence, and for us to share creative juices together. Although that sounds terrible, I think, and you and I have been trying to build a relationship, which I think we've done successfully. I mean, here we are talking like this, me into my phone at 2 a.m, but largely via text and voice note. And that, I will be honest with you, that is not my biggest strength. I love being with people and being in somebody's space and being face to face. And I feel like that's where I excel, and definitely fallen short at times in our text and voice note exchanges because there's so much to communicate and there's so much happening. And all that to say, I'm just really looking forward to spending time together. And I think that's going to really go a long way for our chemistry, which I believe is there and has been there from the start. So I was so damn excited when you wanted to do this film. I felt it in the room when we met. And yeah, I think it does come from the both of us being so fucking hardworking and having a vision and not settling. And I'm excited to have a creative partner in that with you. And it's just really exciting. There's so much more to say. There's so much I want to say. And there's one thing that I do need to say, which is I am so sorry you have been through what you've been through with these other filmmakers and producers or whoever the people were that you worked with. It just pissed me off. Those fuckheads that, I'm just still kind of blown away that this is the industry that we're in and that you've experienced that as a woman. And I know I don't need to say it, but that's not at all going to be or will be, and hopefully it's not been the experience with me. There's nothing more exciting to me like that I get to work with Blake Lively and have her, all of her. I mean, that's what I want. And so there's been no hesitancy with me sending you the final draft file. I am totally fine with that. The only reason I didn't send it today was because I was trying to implement and add your notes into my working draft, which is already like I'm all over that draft right now. So there's a whole bunch of new stars that are going to be collated pages. And I just haven't had a chance to send it to you. But there's no hesitancy. I'm happy to send it to you. And I'm sorry that has happened to you before. And I hope after this experience there will be a new, I don't know, I hope it'll be healing in some way. Because that's all I want. I want this movie to be healing. I want this movie to be commercial just like you and affect people and touch people. And I want to walk you through my whole plan and the work that we're doing with the domestic violence partner that we found, No More, and just my vision. And I just know that this can be really, really special, and it's going to be special. And you're the secret sauce, and we're the secret sauce. And Anyways, I have so much more to say. I'm going to stop rambling because Jesus Christ, it's been 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So, fuck me. I'm sorry. You probably have kids all over you and a baby on your boob, and you're listening to me ramble at 2 in the morning. I hope you're feeling better, and give Ryan my love. Thank you for sending me that. It means the world to me that you trust me with your feelings and your thoughts like that. And I can't wait to spend more time with you. Okay, I'm done. Cutting myself off. Good night.
So, for a tiny bit of context, what Justin Baldoni here is allegedly apologizing for is, remember how I said that Blake Lively / Ryan Reynolds had rewritten some scenes? Well, there's this one rooftop scene. Blake Lively apparently rewrote it. Apparently, Justin Baldoni's reception to the rewriting of that scene was not particularly welcoming, and that is supposedly specifically what he's apologizing for here. Another thing that has surfaced in relation to the voice memo is this text message allegedly from Blake Lively, where she talks about Game of Thrones. She compares herself to Daenerys, and then she mentions the fact that she has dragons that will protect her. Now, these dragons, according to TMZ, which is where this screenshot is from, are a reference to Taylor and Ryan Reynolds, her husband. Now, I don't really know what to do with that text message because it could be seen both as simply standing up for yourself, being like, hey, I have people on my side, or it could be seen as a more threatening thing of like, hey, I have people on my side and we can fuck you up. That's the thing about this entire situation, is that it's all up for interpretation, and a lot of it is vague enough where if you wanna see it in one way, you can kind of force the narrative to look a certain type of way. Now, as I've said prior, I don't think there are any good guys in here, mainly because I think everyone has demonstrated a level of fuckery. Obviously, there's going to be someone who's more guilty than someone else, but at this point, it's very hard to tell because I feel like, as I've said before, every single day there is some new twist and turn that turns the story upside down or that changes the narrative entirely. But based on this voice memo, and here we're just talking about the voice memo, I was very weirded out by it. I'm not gonna lie. It didn't sound genuine or authentic to me. To me, a lot of it, first of all, it was very long-winded and it wasn't really saying all that much. Like, you could have just said, hey, I'm sorry, I wasn't as receptive as I should have been to your changes. And he mentions the notes, right, in the memo. So he said he was integrating her notes into, I'm assuming, the script. So that's good, I guess. But what all of this to me is indicating, really above and beyond everything else, is that there was a problem from moment one. Because if you're at the script point, you're not even filming yet, you're not even really in production yet, and you already have all of these issues, that doesn't mean it's a lost cause, but that means that I really don't think there is the chemistry that Baldoni thought is there. If you do have such chemistry, to me, the implication of chemistry isn't just being able to bounce ideas off each other and vibe, for lack of a better term, but it's also an understanding. And I don't think an understanding was ever here. Because if you're at the script point, and at that point already, you're having these kinds of messy interactions, these misunderstandings, I don't really know what kind of symbiosis is going on here. That being said, I do think that the release of this memo is interesting because I have seen social media use this memo, like I said before, to really bend it to either side of the narrative, when in reality, yeah, it's a voice memo apologizing, but other than that, like I said before, an apology can be a genuine apology or it can be a strategic apology. We've all done apologies to appease people, and we've all had genuine apologies. I don't know which one this is. So as much as there's an admission of guilt by default because you're apologizing, right? I don't really know if that means, hey, yes, I actually behaved inappropriately with you already. Because this was, again, at the script point, as far as I understand. So the filming hadn't occurred yet, so I don't know if the bulk of the inappropriate behavior occurred yet, but we return to the central point that this case just changes consistently every single day. Now that we know that the trial is due to take place, I believe in March of 2026, I don't know if more stuff is going to keep coming out. At this point, I don't even know how useful it is for stuff to keep coming out, because I feel like public opinion will start swaying whoever will be at the trial. And I know that technically whoever's at the trial should have no opinion or should be unbiased or whatever. But the more comes out, the less is kept sealed, the more this already turns into a public trial. And it almost, in quotation marks, doesn't matter what happens at the actual trial. I don't think it's a PR stunt, but I am starting to wonder how much of this is really being used as a way to generate publicity as opposed to any kind of actual quote unquote justice or any kind of potentially revenge. I don't know how much of this even is about what happened allegedly on set as much as it's a circus. And that's not to undermine whoever went through, right? Whether it's Blake Lively or Baldoni, I'm not undermining it, but we can't deny that it's turned into such a circus that nobody's even really thinking about what happened anymore. We're just wondering who's telling the truth, but we barely remember what the claims are. I've been reading about this so much, and still right now, if you ask me every single thing that Blake Lively has claimed or Baldoni has claimed, I don't even remember. Why? Because every 5 minutes there's a new thing. There's the fact that Ryan Reynolds apparently is a bully. There's the fact of this leaked voice memo. There's the fact that Blake Lively apparently was super annoying about wardrobe. There's the fact that Baldoni apparently is a fake feminist. Like, all of these things are coming out. It's like we don't even remember where the starting point of all of this was. And I think that that's the danger of bringing things to social media instead of just going to court and keeping it not secret, but, within the realm of the court predominantly. So that's where things are dealt with. Now, this has just turned into a massive conversation that every day turns and twists and nobody understands anything anymore, as far as I'm concerned. That being said, one main issue I have with all of this is that I've seen people taking sides merely based on identity, and that is something I'm not for, and I've never been for that. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll say it a million times. I don't think it's correct to ever side with someone simply because of their identity. In this case, gender. I've seen a lot of people comparing this to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and honestly, comparing this to domestic violence, I don't understand why anyone would do that in the first place. But in the second place, this case is not similar to that at all. Aside from domestic violence, there are no similarities, really. We're talking about things happening on set here. We're not talking about an intimate relationship. I don't really know why other cases are being dragged into this, and I just don't really think it's appropriate in the first place. Either way, you guys can let me know. At this point, like I said, every single day there's just going to be a new update and everything's going to change all over again. And honestly, at this point, I really think that it's best, if I were them, to just not say anything until the trial, because at this point, I don't even know if this is productive. Because to me, it seems counterproductive, because people are just taking sides and switching sides, or taking Blake Lively's side just because she's a woman, or they're siding with Baldoni because he's allegedly a feminist, instead of actually siding with people because they have a compelling case. I'm frustrated. I don't know if you can tell. I'm also running on no sleep, but that's a different story. Anyways, you guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.